Good morning, everyone. My name is Jean-Christophe. I will be your moderator for this morning pitch session. So let me just quickly remind you the rules. I think there's a PowerPoint presentation. Thank you. So let's try first. So first of all, good morning, everyone. So let's start over again. My name is Jean-Christophe. I'll be your moderator for this morning pitch session. Let me just quickly remind you the rules. Doesn't work. It's live session, but no, doesn't work. Thank you. It works. Perfect. So let me just quickly remind you the rules. 20 fintechs, 10 startups this morning, 10 scale-ups this afternoon will pitch in front of you and the jury, and will try to prove their worth of one of the 4 prizes. They will have 5 minutes to pitch in front of you. Then they will have 5 more minutes to address any questions from the jury or you in the audience. At the end of the day, there will be 4 prizes that will be awarded. There will be the Startup Pitch Awards. There will be the Scale-Up Pitch Awards. There will be the Coup de cœur from the jury, which will be chosen across both startups and scale-ups. And then you, the public, will choose your favorite fintech for the Fintech Pitch Awards. I do encourage you to ask questions to each pitchers. They will be more than happy to answer all your questions, and I think this is really a great opportunity to better grasp and understand what their business project is about. So now, before listening to all these exciting startup projects, I wanted to introduce all the jury members. So first of all, thank you guys for being there and joining us today. So among the jury members, we have first Pauline BRUNEL from Blackfin, which I understand is a European VC firm, right? Then we were supposed to have Koen from Volta Ventures, but he is a bit late and he will be joining later. But Volta Ventures is a Netherlands and Belgian-based VC firm. Then we have Xavier HUERRE from beangels, which is a Belgian VC firm, if I understand it correctly. Then we have Aoife HUGHES from Microsoft, which I don't need to introduce. We have Isabelle from Cedar Funds, which is a Belgian VC firm. Then we have Kanish Kwalia from Middle Game Ventures, which is a VC firm, and I understand that you're based in Luxembourg, Ireland, the US, and the UK, correct? Well, and then myself, Jean-Christophe VERCAUTEREN, your moderator. I'm not a VC, I work for the digital finance team at Simont Braun, and I'm really happy to be here. So with no further delays, I suggest that we hear and listen from our first pitcher. So Leonard KOSSMAN from Fundvis. Leonard, the floor is yours.
Doesn't work? Nope. Okay. All right, so hi everyone. Thank you very much for the introduction and pleasure to kick this off. I'm Leonard and I'm going to represent today Fundvis and want to talk a bit more about what we are, what we do. So we are a team of 8 people. We got incorporated only this year, and we are Luxembourgish based at the Luxembourgish House of Fintech, where you can also find me later at their booth. Now, Fundvis was created by my co-founder Tobias and myself, and we're specialized and focused on the digital and finance, and more specifically, digitalizing the fund industry in Luxembourg. Now, you might be thinking, why the fund industry in Luxembourg? To give you some numbers to outline this, the Luxembourgish fund industry has 1,000 billion euros in AIF assets for the first time, 5.7 trillion at the end of October last year in total asset under management. So you start getting dizzy, I guess. And it's the second largest investment fund space in the world and the largest in Europe. So to top this all off, I don't know if you have been in Luxembourg before, but actually even the statues in Luxembourg are made out of gold. Now, this is probably not really how you start a problem pitch, right? But actually, we're facing one of the biggest challenges, if not the biggest challenge of our lifetime: climate change. Well, this is not just a Luxembourgish problem. This will impact every sector, every country, every person on this planet. And it's not a choice, but a necessity to act. Now, for some of you, that might be some confusion, right? So on one hand, we have the fund industry. On the other hand, we have climate change. So where's the connection? Well, actually, the finance and the digital finance industry will play a major role in reaching the Paris Agreement goals. Let me show you how. Now, what we see is that in the last years, the preferences of the investors, both private and institutional, are changing. That means that they are actually investing more in sustainable companies because they want to align their portfolios with their values. Now, what that is actually doing is that the whole market is shifting, meaning the market has to adapt and has to be more sustainable, creating a sustainable finance era. Now, it's not only changing, but it's actually dramatically overrolling, meaning that PwC Luxembourg estimates that by 2025, 2/3 of the total asset under management will change from non-ESG to ESG. Well, that is the precise moment where the problem is, because this major drop and this major overhaul is creating an insane workforce and insane workload for the companies and the financial industry. So increasing regulations and compliance regulations are going to increase also the workload. And depending on your total asset under management, this is going up by X. Now, I'm afraid to say that's not the only problem the fund industry is actually facing at the moment. In addition, the sector has very little knowledge of how to actually include those ESG compliance requirements in daily operations. And in addition to this, again, the sector is very low digitalized. Now, as a third challenge that we're facing, we have a major talent gap that has been opening up since quite many years and is nowhere near to be closed. So now you're asking how we can actually solve this, right? What is our solution at Fundvis? Now, what we do is that we digitalize all the processes which are fund-related. So starting from distribution, going to setup and lifecycle management and ESG, and adapt them and onboard them to our low-code platform. We use the low-code platform in order to make these processes reusable and adaptable. Now, as soon as the clients and their clients are onboarded on the platform, we offer them to use our feature catalog in order for them to better cooperate, communicate, and coordinate their work cross-industry. Now, all of this leads to a better transparency because you have the digital workflow of your funds, a better audit trail that you can actually then depend on, and time saving as you're working together cooperatively on the platform. Now, what we offer is 3 different packages. We have the basic versions, the professional ones, and the power ones, all differentiating in the end only by what the permissions of the users are. So we let the customer control which users and what permissions they want to have in order to then onboard their clients with the permission relating to it. Now, you might be thinking, this is a great market and a big problem that we're addressing. And actually it is, and we have a lot of competitors, but we are also very different. And we are different in that sense that we are one platform to connect all stakeholders from the fund industry. Now, what we are targeting is the Luxembourgish fund industry and their added value of 7.7 billion only in the latest reports. Out of this, in specific, the legal AFMs and central admins, which are the biggest and most important players in the core structuring of a fund. Now, all of this just to have a revenue in 2025 of 80 million. I see some smiles. I know it's a big number, but actually, let me show you how we can actually reach this. So 2022 was a really successful year. As we got started, we already established our beta versions. We have our core team. We have multiple pilots with different industry players, and we have our first client LOIs. Now we're also moving from the bootstrap phase into the Series A phase, which makes it super interesting to seek out investors and VCs which have both the same passion and vision for the industry. In 23, we're going to drop our audit trail and ESG compass features. 24, we want to have a global rollout into targeted markets. And by 2025, we want to establish our vision to become one complete RegTech platform, so the one-stop solution. Now, all of this means Fundvis, and what you have to remember is the one platform connecting the entire industry and helps the industry to digitalize and therefore overcome the problems of today and tomorrow using technology. So thank you very much, and I would be glad to have a talk later on. Cheers.
I can start. Hey. Who are your clients? Can you elaborate a bit on that? Are you going direct to the fund managers, or are you going through AIFMs, or like how do you go after these clients?
Yeah, so we started with one client which was a legal, so that was also our first...
lawyer.
A lawyer, yeah, exactly. So fund lawyer that you have to have in order to have the right restrictions to set up in Luxembourg. Then we moved into the AFM space, which is then controlling the whole life cycle of a fund. So there we're talking about investment process, in investor onboarding, etc., risk management. And now we're working or have a client ready that is doing a pilot on the central admin case. So by law, Luxembourg, you have to have an AFM and a central admin have to be differentiated. I guess some of you know. And therefore, even for companies which are actually depending on each other, it makes sense to have this internal communication and use case.
To what extent are you seeing the demand coming from modules like ESG versus onboarding, compliance, etc.? Where do you see more of the pull from the market?
Yeah, I think the biggest demand is actually coming kind of from every side, if you can say it that way, because of the low digitalization. So it's actually more this, we have to digitalize, so it's kind of a pressure behind. But then obviously there's the low-hanging fruits of, for example, investor onboarding or smaller solutions which you can establish quite quickly. And so ESG is coming in massively, but kind of depending on the other processes which have to be in place before. And so we kind of try to get over this by just actually offering them a really quick onboarding, a really quick, straight to digitalization point. So we're talking about a week, and actually just take over all the technical aspects. So even if you're in a process, you can still just onboard to Fundvis, and then we digitalize the process. Meanwhile, and not more than 3 days, you can keep on going and have different setup, just being digital. Yeah.
For your clients, what's their business case? Is it more cost-saving driven, or do they have more legal certainty that everything is correct?
Yeah, it's actually kind of both. So what we see is that, as we said, the demand is insanely shifting, and it's not, if you don't change, you're kind of left behind. And so we see that the business is going very well. It's more about coping with the business. So it's actually, we have to have solutions which help us to make business continue growing and be still in the forefront. At the same time, as we saw a lot about greenwashing and also about the curation of funds, so let's talk about Article 6, 8 and 9, for example. If you want to start with an Article 8 or 9 fund, but then meanwhile you see that from the funding perspective, there's not enough to actually drop into those ESG assets, there's the big problem of being then a greenwasher, even though you have a good intention, right? So it's kind of the both sentences. So for our clients, I think it's both getting digitalized, but then also having the transparency and the audit trail of how actually you can fulfill the entire walkthrough of the fund to make it understandable for them.
You're talking about Luxembourg, which is a very big market, so enough to make good money. What about competition? Because we see regularly people pitching about this subject, and this is a very broad subject because you talk about digitalization on one side and ESG on the other side. So how do you believe the market will evolve? Will it be the winner take it all, or is it something that leaves room for different players?
Yeah. I think I agree. There are competition, and obviously, as the market attracts, there's just a normal attention that comes to it. But I think the difference is really that we've seen a lot in the past years that the digitalization is focused on specific players from the industry. So let's say I'm going to digitalize you, but on-prem. So I'm going to do a solution for you that you can use. But then as soon as you start to cooperate with your clients or your other cross-industry players, you can't, because it's your legacy system on your system. What we say is we don't want to go to every specific person, but we say we're more doing a platform which is above the other ones, being neutral and giving the possibility to actually work on this interoperable platform. So that is really the core where we differentiate. Instead of doing a precise solution for every single person, we do one solution where everybody can connect. So this is, I think, what makes it really different and really adaptable. Okay, thank you.
Presentation, Leonard.
Cheers.
And then, with no further delay, we can welcome our next pitcher, which is SORDO-DE from Scudi. Hey, the floor is yours.
Now, imagine this. You have no money. You have no money at the bank. You have no money in your pocket or in your wallet. And you need money urgently. But you're afraid of stigma, prejudice, bullying, shame factor. So you don't want to go and ask HR. Or you don't want to go and ask friends. What do? You're wishing somebody could give you anonymously money. And what if your employer actually sets up a scheme whereby you can get anonymous instant access to your salary? That would create an enormous feeling of loyalty towards your employer. So these two words, anonymous and loyalty, these are the things I'm going to talk about. I'm Ree, CEO of Scudi and founder. I've got 6 co-founders and I've got 5 really good consultants. So let's go to the first. Sorry, I haven't got the thingy. I haven't got a... Okay, thank you. And that one doesn't work? Okay. Significant number of people live from paycheck to paycheck and have empty wallets at the end of the month. COVID, the Ukrainian war, inflation have all made this worse. And people have limited savings and unexpected expenses. So what's the solution? The Scudi came up with a solution, and we're offering a SaaS or an enterprise SaaS platform and a mobile app for the employees by which they get instant, anonymous access to their salary when they need it, anytime, anywhere. So what does Scudi offer as a SaaS? So it is instant salary access software. It's fully integrated with payroll systems. It's fully automized. It is at a fixed annual budget. And, of course, massive advantages, loyalty and animosity. Now, product has got 2 parts. It's got a mobile application and it's got a web platform. The mobile application is anonymous and gives instant access. When needed, it empowers the employee to have control over its own finances. We give free budgeting and savings tools. Oh, well, sorry, I forgot that. The mobile platform for the employer, of course, has got the loyalty factor and motivation factor. What does that mean? Improved performance. It also means less absenteeism. It also means less healthcare cost and a lot of other advantages, actually. Improved corporate image, let's not forget that. So what does Scudi offer as a SaaS? An enterprise SaaS, we've had that one. We had a product. And I think we've forgotten something. But competitors in the UK and the EU, yes, we have a few competitors. We've got big ones too. WageStream, UK company, started up in 2018, and they've raised 254 million euros. Then we have Rosalie in France, which has just recently raised 10.9 million. And we've got Payflow, the largest for the moment on the European soil, forgetting or taking in account Brexit, has raised 14.8 million. All these are offering early wage access. So why is Scudi unique? Unique because we do not make the employee pay, where all the others do. We actually sell our software to the corporate employer, and we take care of operations and services. We offer a different model according to the needs of the employer. We actually want to make people's lives better. Target markets. First, looking at Germany, the biggest workforce in the EU, 27+1. 42 million people work in Germany. That's 20% of the European plus the UK population. And then we, of course, are going to try and do this on our own turf. Nobody is doing it so far. And we look at the UK, we look at France, we look at Italy, another 20% of the European workforce. Financials. Well, it's a pity for right now, and this is not a brilliant picture, I can say that. We've sold one license, we got 2 corporates, that's 100,000 in revenue and 10 gross profit, 10K gross profit. Where are we going? End of 25, we will have sold, we think about 2021 licenses, and we will have onboarded 200 to 220 corporates. What does that mean in numbers? 12 million revenue and gross profit 7 million. So the bigger it goes, that range, revenue, gross profit grows. Why Scudi? Because we want to make people's life better. We take care of the S in ESG, social impact, human rights, because a de facto right for everybody to be paid when he's worked for something. And then we have the D&I, diversity and inclusion, because every member of that corporate can actually get instant access to his salary. Equity, because we try to give more to people who need it most, and that's with special freebies. So now is the right time for early wage access. Never more than ever before have employees been stressed and been out of money before the end of the month. Never than ever before, or more than ever, are they under financial duress. And more than ever have employers tried to retain their staff and looked for solutions to retain them. Strong leadership. Yes, as I said, I've got 6 co-founders and I've got a bunch of consultants which work with us and advisors, 5 in total. I'm pulled by 3 IT guys, each with their specific field. They're award-winning people and they're actually very impressive. Can we launch a video, please? Thank you. I'll take your questions. Okay.
Hi. I was wondering, what is the profile of your clients? Do you segment more the corporates or like the smaller companies? And how long do you think it will take to convince them?
So we have several clients. One, we sell the licenses of the software per region or per country. We have our own opcos, which actually buy the license as well, and they distribute to the corporates. Partnerships can also be buying the licenses. From there, they will sell the software to the corporates. And who's going to convince? How do we convince the corporates? It's really by showing the advantages. And there are numbers, there are studies, KPMG, Deloitte, EY, all the big ones. I've gone through these numbers, their statistics from the United States since 2005, which show that basically early wage access, giving people that possibility, brings in an improvement in performance, but also financial well-being and health. And I don't think that's a difficult sell.
Have you started any integrations with HR softwares?
Sorry?
Integrations with HR softwares
Yes.
that companies already use?
Yes, we have started in Germany with one company. So in Germany, basically, it's not a very difficult one because everybody uses either SAP for the big ones or DATEV for the smaller ones. That's 98% of the SMEs in Germany. We haven't started in Belgium yet.
I'm not very much aware of this need on the market, so this is the first time I hear about it. I thought actually this is more a credit issue because when the money is too scarce, people usually talk with their bank if they have one. On the markets where I live, people have a bank account, which is not the case everywhere. So I'm just thinking, approaching the first few prospects, when you failed in convincing them, what was the first...
The cost of
the first
approaching?
argument against adopting your solution?
The argument is very often coming from a misunderstanding, or the refusal comes from misunderstanding from HR in the corporates because they like to control. Now, the difference is when you sell the EWA and you're the one dealing with everything is one thing, but in our case where we sell the software, we actually give them control in-house. It makes a big difference. HR very often doesn't understand and then ask their staff, would you like to get access to your salary through a mobile app? And very often, people have that stigma. They don't want to tell anybody they have financial trouble. And you get a lot of people saying, no, I'm fine, I'll come and ask you. But what if you have your baby inside of the house and you lock the door and you can't get in? And you need a locksmith and your baby's on his own? Well, go and walk to HR and see when you get your money. Nobody's going to pay that locksmith for you. Whereas Scudi gives you that instant access. Thank you
very much for your presentation. Can I applaud her once again? Let's move on to the next speaker, who is Nadim TAKCHI from Livret. Nadim, the floor is yours. And
thank you. Hi everyone, my name is Nadim and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Livret, the first mobile app that makes real estate savings accessible to all. Before we start, a few words about the founding team. So we're two serial entrepreneurs with extensive experience in startups. My partner Yazid has spent the last 13 years in the Silicon Valley and has built multiple companies, amongst which the leading company in the online cosmetics in the US, a unicorn named Ipsy that generates billions in revenues every year. I, on the other hand, come from the fintech world where I co-founded Credit.fr, or Credit.fr, that became the #2 crowd lending company in France that I later sold to TKO Capital. Both Yazid and I are investors in real estate on a both personal and professional level. I alone have made over 10 transactions of 6 million euros over the past 3 years. Now, with Livret, we're tackling the massive amount of deposits that are currently held in France and in Europe, and that generate almost nothing. We're talking here about 9 trillion euros. The problem is that all real estate-based solutions are not suited or do not address the common people, and more specifically this young generation that all banks and funds are desperate to acquire but can't today. Now, while building Livret, we were inspired by Robinhood's user experience that opened a whole new market, a stock investment market for a whole new generation through a free gamified mobile app. So with Livret, we built the first mobile app that allows users to start saving at 100 euros with no fees against a return of 4 to 6% and the possibility to recover their funds at any time with no penalties. The funds are then invested in residential real estate in center of large cities in France, where you have low vacancy rates and high returns. We've also built a whole gamification and educational verticals within the app that allows the user to boost their returns while learning about real estate, finance, savings, and having fun. The goal out of this is to build an engaged and loyal community around Livret. Now, I've prepared a quick demo for you guys to see, and I encourage all of you to download the app and test at least the onboarding, because right now it's only available for French residents, but we'll open it to the Belgian market very soon because we have a lot of demands on that. Can we play the demo, please?
Je suis Nadim, cofondateur de Livret.
No, not this one.
Aujourd'hui, je vais vous expliquer pourquoi le Livret P n'investit que sur des biens immobiliers résidentiels.
There's a demo here.
L'objectif du Livret P est d'offrir à ses souscripteurs un placement gratuit avec une stabilité de rendement et un niveau de risque minimal. La France fait face depuis de nombreuses années à un problème majeur d'offre de logement. Contrairement à l'immobilier commercial, de bureaux, centres commerciaux, boutiques, etc.
And we can cut the video. Okay, can we start it again, please? Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure. Thanks. Okay, here you can see you have the home page where you see your deposits, the interest generated. You can access the recent transactions and see your interest generated daily. We're also building right now more of the educational and gamification processes. Right now we have the question of the week that allows the user to access to go on the app every week and play a quiz on real estate or finance and so on, and boost their returns over a specific period of time. We're also very transparent about our real estate portfolio that allows users to go and see everything we've invested on, why we did it, how we did it, and so on, and then learn more about that. Here you can see we already have 2 million euros of portfolio. We also have a page specific for referrals where people can refer their friends and make money out of it, and they're excited for it. It's very easy to deposit money on your account. You can do this by wire, by banking card, or by connecting your bank account through our open banking partners. Today on Livret Pay, it takes you less than a minute to make a deposit of 100 euros or 10,000 euros. We've launched the app 4 months ago and have today 5,000 users and 2 million euros of real estate invested. We have a weekly engagement of 92% on the app, and all of this with almost no marketing budget. We're also moving forward with a major French bank in order for them to distribute Livret Pay to their customers and promote it. The goal of Livret Pay is to become the go-to app of everything real estate investment related. So very soon we'll be offering the possibility for our users to invest in other real estate investment trusts, or SCPI in France, that will allow us to generate substantial revenues and increase our scalability very drastically. We've already invested 800,000 euros of our own money into building this product, and right now we've started a fundraising round of 1 million euros of seed money, where we've already secured half of it with prominent business angels in France. And in short, Livret Pay is a perfect combination of the flexibility of the French Livret A with the sustainability of real estate, all of this in the palm of your hand. Thank you very much.
Je suis Nadim, cofondateur de Livret P.
Jesus.
Aujourd'hui, je vais vous expliquer pourquoi le Livret P n'investit que sur des biens immobiliers résidentiels.
Where does it come from?
L'objectif du Livret P est d'offrir à ses souscripteurs un placement gratuit avec une stabilité de rendement et un niveau de risque minimal. La France fait face depuis de nombreuses années à un problème majeur d'offre de logement. Contrairement à l'immobilier commercial.
Okay.
So, two questions for you. You have a vision of becoming the go-to platform for European savers.
Mm-hmm.
But the real estate market in each country is very specific, right, within Europe. So France is very different to Germany. The UK is very different to those two countries. So how do you see, or what challenges do you see in scaling up outside of France?
Yeah.
That's the first question. And the second question is, in a increasing interest rate environment, what impact, if any, does that have on your business model? Yeah.
So us moving international, we have two objectives. The first one, and where it makes a lot of sense, is moving international into acquiring new customers. And we do this today by partnering up mainly on B2B2C, on the B2B2C market. We've worked with a few influencers that have worked very well. We today have several tens of referrals, just referrals in between our users. So it's taking very well. And our main objective is to move to Belgium and other countries where they don't have this Livret A or any similar to a guaranteed government saving account that gives you 1%, 2%, 3%. Now, Moving into real estate market, there are a lot of potential markets near France that have even more potential than France. For example, Spain, Portugal, or even Belgium. So we'll be moving into these with specific partners that will allow us to find the right spots and buy these buildings and so on. I already have 2 partnerships that are already in place with these people that are helping me in France and that are specialized right now in Spain and Portugal. And this is how we do it. The objective is not for Livret to have 40 people working on real estate, 40 people working on marketing. The objective is to piggyback on partners that are very specific and specialized in these things and work with them in order for us to develop. And therefore, we'll be reducing our critical risk for the company. Now, the second question is with the rising of interest rates, right? So in France, or let's talk about France right now because we're focusing there. We do have interests that are rising, but interest rising means also that the real estate market is dropping, and we see today that the prices are dropping. That will allow us to buy at a lower price. Right now, we only have 2 million euros of portfolio, so we'll be buying when the curve is going down, so at the best time of the market. So this is also where we're going to be generating substantial appreciation of our portfolio, right? So in this case, we'll be able to generate more revenues, and we'll be able to increase the revenues for our customers. And today, in any case, all REITs that exist on the market, the average in France is 4.3%, and you don't have the same liquidity that we offer on the app through Livret.
Question as well. Can you elaborate a bit on the business model? Because you say you provide
yes.
the 4% fixed rate. So
yeah.
How does that I mean, is it because you are renting out the flats
yeah.
and then it
yeah.
brings you, then you can take a spread? Go ahead.
Yeah. So the business model is evolving, right? Because the product, the offer, everything is evolving over time. Right now, we have this product that we want to acquire as many people as possible. So our business model right now is very simple. We generate revenues with the spread between what we make and what we pay, knowing that our cost of capital is around 3%, with a banking leverage of 50% in total. We have several banking partners in that regard. So we have the spread, which amounts to basically 3.
Can I get you for a second? Means that the amount that you're raising on the platform, on the app, is the equity piece of the financing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, correct. So we have a spread of 2 to 3%, plus the reevaluation of the portfolio that amounts to 50% of the total return over 10 years. And so this is today. We'll be generating very soon, we'll be able to generate fees by providing other real estate trusts where we're going to offer them for almost no fees or no fees at all. And they'll be paying for us around 2% entrance fee and a recurring fee of 0.5%. We've already talked to a few of them. Some of them are already part of the bank we're talking to. So we're going to be offering a few of their real estate portfolios on our app also. And this will allow us to generate fees right away and scale way more, because tomorrow if I have 50 million on the app, I don't know what to do with them right away, right? So it allows me to fluidify my liquidity and scale faster.
Because for now, so you are sourcing the apartments and you are maintaining them, like refurbishing them and then renting them out, and who does the whole operational piece?
So right now for the first 2, so on a personal level, I get between 2 and 3 investment offers per day, without doing any effort, because I've did this effort over the past few years and I was able to build a portfolio for my own. Now, the goal is to also piggyback, as I said, or work with other companies that will provide us these things. The refurbishing part, one of them, we have two assets in our portfolio. An apartment that we did ourselves. It's very easy. It's 90 square meter. We had like several rooms. You rent it out in 5 minutes. It was done. The other one is a big house. All of them 10 minutes walking from Paris. Big house that we transformed into 9 rooms, and we're renting out with our partner Colonies, which is the leader in co-living in almost probably in Europe soon to come, and they're managing the whole thing. On both of them, we have 6% of net rental revenue. Did I answer your question? Yeah. Okay. So in the future, we can either manage the buildings or the apartments ourselves, knowing that one person can manage up to 300 different apartments on a year, or we can go through partners, either that sold us the apartment, or if it's too complicated, like co-living and stuff that we don't know how to do.
I was wondering, how big do you think your portfolio of assets has to be? So now you have two, to minimize or like to have a portfolio effect that you are less impacted by renters not paying and other problems?
First of all, for the part of renters not paying, we have insurances, free insurances called Garantie Visale in France that allows us to guarantee the rents with no cost. So this is number one. Number two, for I think 6 months. Number two is we've have an objective of getting up to 10 million by Q2, let's say, of next year, and we'll be also increasing the whole investment portfolio with the rates, the other platforms that will be on the app. I think 10 million is a nice first point, and we want to increase to 50 million in order for us then to work with a société de gestion. I'm not sure how to say it in English, but yeah. So we'll be working with them. We need to get the threshold of 50 million. The thing is, with Livret Pay, we've limited the total amount that you can deposit on the app to 10,000. Because we ensure the liquidity, we cannot have more than 10,000 per person. But then 10,000, you can take them in 24 hours, and people test this on a daily basis on the app. But in order for us, for people to invest more than 10,000, this is why we have other real estate trusts that are on the app, and they will be able to put 50,000, 100,000, and us will be able to generate 2% every time they do this with no effort whatsoever.
Nice.
About your go-to-market, I understood that you have partnership with banks.
Yeah.
Actually, isn't it a classical model for B2C go-to-market?
So the thing is, with Livret Pay, I think I gained a year and a half thanks to my experience at Credit.fr. Credit.fr, it's this crowd lending platform where you have individual users and SMEs. You put them together, users rent money to SMEs. For a year, we were not able to get any use. We had like hundreds of them. And my partner and I, we were putting money on every project because we went into a B2C market right away. After a year and a half, I signed a partnership with Hello Bank, which is a digital bank owned by BNP Paribas in France, that allowed us to explode completely and gave us credibility, visibility, and all of this. So right now, I'm just like cutting this whole part of time wasting and working right away with banks. The banks, I was surprised to see how interested they are in the project, because I'm talking to 2 other banks right now also on the side, just making in case like things don't move till the end. With the first one, we have 2 others that we're already working with. They love what we do because they don't know how to do. Their marketing director is specialized with seniors and youngs, which makes no sense. They don't have any. They want to get to this Gen Y, Gen Z market, but they don't know how to. They don't put the right people in. So, providing them with a solution that has traction that works, is pure. It's perfect for them. And then also we can like have all these partnerships with real estate within the real estate vertical and the credit vertical and many verticals within our partnerships with them. So it makes total sense for them. And I was surprised at first.
But you don't fear that they copy you then?
They could. It would take them 3 years. And they wouldn't know how to do it. This is the problem with banks. They have to go through billions of processes before, and they don't have the right people in. We're not at all worried about this, and we've been working with them since the beginning. And they've actually asked us to incubate with them so that we can like increase our... I'm not worried about this at all. Because they don't know how to do it. They wouldn't be able to do it better than us. You had a question, maybe? Yeah. We can talk about it afterwards.
You can talk about it later.
Sorry.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So let's move to our next pitcher, which is Quota Rent, Giovanni BUONO.
Yes. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. So we need the stream.
Cool.
Can we see?
Can
we
you see
don't
clearly
see
the
you
presentation?
right now.
And the presentation?
We don't see it either.
Wait a second. It was working until a few minutes ago.
Maybe I need to leave the floor.
I will try to share once again my screen. Just a second.
We cannot see your presentation.
What about now?
We can see your presentation. We cannot see you, but we can see your presentation.
Let's see once again.
Now we can see you.
You can see me also?
Yes, somehow.
Wonderful.
Okay, Giovanni, the floor is yours.
Okay. So thank you very much for inviting us here. Quota is the tools that aiming to make a better life for the rental professionals and for tenant and landlord. Why we want to do that? Because we think there is a tremendous opportunity in the rental market. As you can see, we have a 1.7 trillions of business regarding rentals. Only in Spain, we have 500,000 new rental every year. And this is a very quick growing market because especially in South Europe, the behavioral trending is changing. So people is aiming more to rent than buy an apartment, not only because it's more difficult to access credit for a mortgage, for instance, but especially because people is starting to work remotely, is commuting more between city. They don't want to necessarily living close to their original family. So all this is pushing the rental market in an increasing growth. And these numbers also refer to traditional rent. We are not talking to mid rental, which means rental below the 1 year contract, and let's say vacational rental, which is a couple of days, a couple of weeks, etc. Also, the investment in PropTech during the last year was 200 billion, so which means there is a tremendous needs and interest in investing, innovate in this market, and by only digitalize many of the processes involved in the rental market, we are able to extract the 3% of all these values, creating a business of around 400 millions. What we noticed by our analysis when we launched Quota is that 7 out of 10 rental contracts have some kind of issues, okay? Especially starting from the lack of trust between the participant, either the professional, the landlord, or the tenant. How we overachieve this issue during the rental contract was either by asking a lot of cash to the tenant, or either contract a traditional insurance product, which normally used to be very expensive for the landlord. And many of the time there is a transparency issue. They don't know each other who are involved in this contract. And also landlord prefer, because of all these issues, is prefer to hand over the management to professionals. When in their case, they also have a lack of agility because some of the processes are not completely digitalized and they are not homogeneous. They are not all integrated in one platform. Okay, this is because we are aiming to solve this overall issue by a solution based in 2 layers. One is a software as a service, which integrate many features to speed up all the process from document management, but especially focus on the screening and scoring of qualified tenant. And this will help basically either the landlord or the professional to reduce by 70% the time spent to decide which is the proper tenant to rent the apartment, and to link to the software as a service, a marketplace or coverage product. They are either rent guarantee or other type of insurance product. And normally they used to be, we were able to create this this product that they are cheaper than most of the product in the market. They can cover a longer period, and then can also able to share the cost between all the participants, either the professional, the landlord, or the tenant. This is very unique in the market. So this is what the goal that we achieve with our product. We have a insurance product that costs 3 times less than the normal insurance product. We have 100% of transparency, and we reduce the time that the professional dedicate to rent an apartment, making the rental market more profitable also for the professionals. Okay, how this work? Well, basically, the initial tool is very simple. We create an onboarding tools that is able to quick qualify the tenants, and from these tools you can manage all the documents. And we qualify, we assign a score, and then we can decide to apply a rent guarantee product to the tenant involved. So very quickly, very user friendly. The business model is based from one side on a freemium subscription. If you are a single flat landlord, you don't pay nothing, it's free. But as soon as you have a certain amount of volume, you pay a monthly subscription. And then we get commission from some of the product. Here you have some example that are either insurance product, and we are also introducing some kind of embedded finance product also. Okay, what we did until now, we start to commercialize the product beginning this year, and we already qualified more than 3,000 tenants in our platform. We are basically managing or working with 1,200 flats in our platform, and we have a pipeline of business that is exponentially growing because of the discussion we are having with different partners. Okay, so this is some of the grants and achievement that we made since the beginning of the project, which start basically at February 2021. This is a part of our team. And in terms of funding round, we already have been invested by venture capital from the very beginning, and now we just closed actually this is 250 plus 180K grants, so almost $500,000, the last pre-seed round that we just closed. And this is our international path. Just if you have some minutes, some view about the competitors. The thing is that Quota is the only one which integrated the marketplace and the software service. So we are a compelling solution for all our stakeholders. This is an overview of the size of the market that we can achieve just by addressing Spain. And that's it. So the rest is for the questions.
Thank you very much for your presentation, Giovanni. Any questions from the jury?
What does it cost to get a customer? What is the cost of acquisition customers?
Yeah, good question. Well, we analyzed since the beginning very different go-to-market strategy. So we both addressed the B2C via digital marketing, and we addressed also the B2B2C. We have to say that catching tenants is very easy. The cost of acquisition for tenants, well, the cost of the CPL, the cost per lead is below €2. We were able. Then the conversion normally it depends on the amount of portfolio, the portfolio size of assets of flats you have in the platform. And because of the reason, we start to close partner with asset manager. So partner that they have something like between 1,000 and 10,000 flat under management. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
So, yeah, so the difficult part obviously is to get the asset in the platform. And for this reason, we at the beginning we start an approach that is very, very analogic, not digital. And we also, in the last round, we have the participation of an asset manager company that has 24,000 flat under management. So this basically we make our the matching between tenant an asset easier for us in this stage. Okay.
Any question in the audience?
Do you have plans to expand to the commercial lease as well? So everything linked to SMEs and commercial shops and whatever. So beyond retail.
Yeah. You mean something like real estate agents?
No, I meant so not only flats,
okay,
but
sorry. Yeah, sure.
Offices
Sorry.
and
I got it. Yeah, we actually have a quite strong demand from this from the very beginning, and this is a very interesting market. So probably we will do that in the near future. Now we want to really consolidate on the private market first. But this is a very interesting market. So many partners and shareholders ask us to step into, to have a look at least to what we can do here.
No other question? Then thank you again for your presentation, Giovanni.
Thank you very much.
So let's now move on to our next speaker, who is Paula Monticelli from CryptoMate. Paula is also online. So Paula, can you hear us? Paula? Okay.
So let's now. I'm here.
Okay, Paula, can you hear us now?
Yes. Hi,
okay,
how are you?
Thank you, we're great. So Paula, the floor is yours, and you go. We cannot see you.
Wait me a minute. I don't know why, because the video pause when I share my screen. I don't know why. Could you see the presentation?
We can see your presentation, Paula.
Okay. I don't know why you can see me. If it's okay, I can teach without video. I don't know.
Yeah, okay, let's go without the camera then. Okay, Paula, you can start.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Paula. I am from CryptoMate. And how we say, at CryptoMate, we believe that any company can be and will be a crypto company. We create a plug-and-play crypto infrastructure as a service with web BI tools. This is important because nowadays the reason why the companies couldn't make the transition to Web3 is because the technology is complex and expensive. The regulations create some fear for the risk of regulatory incompatibilities, and they don't have the workflow to set up and coordinate these kind of operations. Yeah. So in the last time, we are from LATAM. This is important because we identify here different theses about how any company can be a fintech, and also we say any company can be a crypto company, and we identify a very growth of these kind of startups also in Europe. So our numbers are very strategic, and this is important because the go-to-market strategy allows us to grow very fast. How I say, we are from LATAM, and here we can see the financial inclusion. It's very important, and they have a good optimization in the last year. So if we continue with our thesis, any company needs to be competitive with technology. And in the last year, we have seen a crypto boom, but mostly B2C, and the B2B part is missing. And here is where we are very important, because we are B2B and also B2B2B, because our crypto app is it's a technology product that any company could integrate into your system. When we are talking about our use cases, we can view fintechs, ATMs, payroll, super apps. If we thinking about our competition, here we have a great value, because our principal product is about the flow of crypto assets or cryptocurrencies, and not about stock like another companies that are very, very common in this sector. Our business model is about this flow. We are a SaaS with the testnet part. We have two parts with our clients. First is a sandbox with this testnet, and then our client pay per use the APA for APA call fees. We have this is our traction. Nowadays we have 10 clients and another 20 in our pipeline. Our average revenue is about $800 USD per month per client or per customer. And nowadays we are trying to we are working for be more cheaper our customer acquisition, because our strategy to go to market, it's by events, for example. They are it's expensive, and we are trying to be better in this way. This is our numbers. We are already investor about $1 million. And this is important because we are trying to increase our sales managers. So we are trying to incorporate a new dollars for our round. And about our team founder, our CEO founded one of the fastest growing crypto banks from South America, called Lemon Cash. Our CTO has proven track record of landing technology solution across the region, working for PayPal. It's very important in the region also. And I am the CMO. I have experience academy as public speaker and as marketing strategy leader for top international brands. So, how I said before, any company can be and will be a crypto company, and we are working for bridge the gap between business, Web 2 and Web 3. So, thank you.
Thank you very much, Paula.
Could you see me?
No, we can't. Sorry, there's another video running.
Ah, okay.
Okay, we can't see you, but we'll do the questions like this. So.
Thank you, Paula. A question on the product itself. Do you consider yourself a solution that aggregates different crypto infrastructure services? Or are you actually building the underlying technology and securing the regulatory approvals yourselves?
We are building infrastructure. So the power of our infrastructure is the ability to tap into explore new business models into the crypto economy without the exposure the assets. When I say assets, say regulatory and economically. So our client don't have to go for the legal complication, for example, because all this part is about terms and conditions services, and this is, or the way is by us.
We can't hear you anymore.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you again.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. A follow-up question to that.
Yes.
There are some similar businesses in the traditional fintech world that do what you do, enabling any company to be a fintech company. I think that you must have come across banking as a service startups as part of your competitive landscaping. Do you see a threat that those companies begin to offer crypto offerings? So companies like Rails Bank or Drive Wealth in the US. And if so, how do you position yourselves against those companies?
Yes, I think no, because when we talk with this kind of startup that gives the similar model for fintech, they say they are concentrated to the fintech part and not to the crypto, because they haven't got the knowledge for generate this technology. The technology is the complex here, because it's very different fintech technology with the crypto technology. And also we have different partnerships with these kind of companies.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question in the audience? No? And from the jury? No. Then thank you again, Paula.
Thank you.
So this is the end of the first round of these pitch sessions. We'll take a first break of about 45 minutes and we'll be back at 11:15. If you want to vote for your favorite startup, please go to the Bizabu app, find in the agenda the schedule for the pitch sessions, and there you will find the polls to vote for your favorite fintechs. Many thanks and see you in about 45 minutes.